All right, ladies and gentlemen, good Monday morning. Welcome aboard Top Gun Options. This is our new Zoom platform. I was on GoToWebinar, GoToTraining for a long time. They made some stupid changes. They broke something that wasn't broken. So we moved over to Zoom. Can everybody see my screen? Can everybody hear me? Hello? Anybody out there? We all good? Thumbs up, chat box. So for all my current Top Gun Options members, we've been waiting for this day, right? Gave GoToWebinar a chance to get their what together, and they didn't. So can you guys? It's your chat is coming up in QA, so I need to fix that for next time. I want you guys to be able to chat. I don't need it in Q&A. Okay. Chat is disabled. Okay, so we are going to have to figure that out. So that is let me try and click a button real quick. Can you guys? All right, I'm going to have to write that one down. I did a test webinar yesterday, but with just me. I can see your Q&A, but we need to, I'll fix the chat. My apologies. This is why I try and pre-flight as good as I can. So, but you only see a black screen. Are you guys only seeing a black screen? I hope you're seeing my slide. You should be seeing a welcome aboard slide. Somebody said they're seeing a blank screen. Slides? Yes, looks good. I see the slide. Okay, whoever said that, that's just you. Okay, folks, let's go ahead and get airborne. Like I said, I'll figure this stuff out. But just give me a little bit. I want to start with this, and then we'll get airborne here. So Friday, I had just gotten done a Fox News hit for the helicopter crash in New York City, which I thought was just an absolute horror. Former Navy SEAL was flying the helicopter, and young kids, 3 young kids, and then obviously the mom and dad. I mean, and helicopters don't just fly apart in midair, folks. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. That shouldn't happen. I don't like helicopters. I've never liked helicopters. I flew in a helicopter once in the Navy, and it was terrifying. Aerodynamically, they make no sense. There's way too many moving parts. Any aircraft that has a part called a Jesus nut, I'm not getting in. Meaning, if that nut fails, you're done. Jesus is flying. So I got off that Fox News hit Friday morning, and my daughter texted me, my daughter Keely from Boca Raton High School. And she said, "Dad, I just saw a plane crash. We heard it. There's a big fireball. I can smell the smoke." And it was just, I mean, so, and as the day went on, I saw some videos. I saw some absolutely horrific videos. And I'm going to leave it at that. So cell phones can be a great thing, cell phone video, in an aircraft mishap, and they can be in horror. So as the day went on, I saw some horrible things, but I also I watched the video and I could see what was wrong with the aircraft. About middle afternoon is when we found out they were friends of ours. My daughter Keely was a young girl, 17-year-old girl, who Keely has cheered with since they were little. It was her father, and her grandfather. They were flying their Cessna 310 up to Tallahassee to visit FSU. She just got into FSU. So it really, I mean, it's a horror. It's an absolute horror. The rudder, full rudder deflection. in the videos I've seen. I don't know how they stayed in the air for 11 minutes. I stepped through the checklist. I was up. And they were both experienced pilots. So here's what we're going to trade and everything in a minute. But if my energy is a little different,
not sure where this is.
Let me share this with you, and you can watch it on your own time. I did this video Saturday morning because the family saw me talking on the news, and they were very thankful because people suck. Some people suck. Not all people, some people. Donald Trump's fault, Elon Musk's fault. These guys were shitty pilots. People are awful. Unhealed people suck. So they called at like 1:00 in the morning. Friday. Susie and I were in bed, obviously, but they called and we missed their call. So Susie, Saturday morning, they're like, "Thank you so much for what he said." So I made this video Saturday morning to expand upon everything. So if you get a chance, you can watch this. But in the videos that I watched, I saw two men. So the granddad that was his son, who's my age. He was a great guy. So the granddad and the dad are battling to save this airplane because there's a brook in the back seat. So it's an absolute horror for them. The daughter, that was her brother and her dad who died, and her niece. So and my boys played hockey with that side of the family. So this hit very close to home. But people on social media can be evil. They can be hurtful. If I was on that plane, I would have been battling to save. It's just, anyway, didn't want to necessarily start out here, but it's been a long weekend, man. Because Friday, 90-day pause in tariffs and the rip your face off rally, and then all the shit happening over the weekend. I've been, all we're going to talk about for the next 4 days, trading and investing and making money, it can be fucking worse, man. You woke up this morning, you're online, you had a cup of coffee, your life is good. Keep everything in perspective, okay? So I kind of took some downtime this weekend, to reflect. Life is precious, man. Life is precious. They're having a big thing at the schools today for Brooke. And anyway, so if because some people are like, dude, where's your weekend this or whatever? I'm like, man, well, I'm taking a little break here. So, okay. All right, guys. So if you can, send some love down to Boca Raton. They're going to do a memorial in about a month. Easter weekend coming up. There's so anyway, you are blessed. I'm blessed. They are blessed. And let me this will be it. And then I promise we'll get airborne. This is the first aviation mishap since I've healed. And if you have no idea what the hell that means, you're going to find out in about 3 minutes. And it's really interesting because they're, Brooke and her dad and the granddad, they're here, they transitioned, they're love, light, and energy. And if there's any prayers, it's obviously for the families. Those three don't need prayers. They're actually praying for us. I've experienced that. So it's really interesting. And obviously my daughter Keely is devastated. This is her first experience with death, with losing somebody. So it was, sitting her down Friday afternoon and, talking to her, was, it sucked. All right. So let's throttle on up. Obviously those three are here with us. And you gotta, we'll press forward, but, you're blessed. Your portfolio might be down a little bit. Who gives a shit? Right? Are you good? And we're going to talk about all this stuff. Okay. Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. I just did a full throttle. I did our Q1 full throttle beginning of March. It's Q2, obviously. And I was going to do it in April, May, June, like May or June. I pulled it up. And we'll talk about why in a second, because people are getting destroyed. If you don't know me, I'm going to introduce myself in a second. That's your fault. If you're blaming Donald, if you're blaming everybody but yourself for your portfolio getting hammered, that's your fault. Donald Trump did that. It's a self-inflicted. I don't care what you think. It is your fault if you're not making money as the market goes down. Now, to be clear, some of my long-term bullish positions are a little underwater. That's why I'm printing money in the front months right now and taking those profits and buying more of my long-term bullish positions. We are having an absolute blast. For every panicked seller, there's a buyer, folks. If you don't understand that, welcome aboard. So I'm going to get this out of the way now. I'm not taking a full 50 like we do once a quarter. It'll only be 25. No exceptions. Because I don't like TGO getting too big. I don't like a Battle of Britain zoo or unwashed masses in here. So only 25, not 50 this time. And when we get to 25, we close the doors. And then the next one will be a long time from now. I'm doing this to help people out. I can be sitting here on my own trading and printing money, but I love being a flight instructor. I love helping people. That's why we're here. So today we're going to get into a quick TGO background, who I am, and the basics of options. You can even start using them as I'm talking to you, I guarantee you, even if you're brand new, okay? Tuesday, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., spread training. We're going to take a building block approach. For those of you who are like my Marine buddies who can't spell the word options, we're going to take a building block approach and get you up to speed. So up to speed that tomorrow we're going to talk about just a basic spread, maybe even today, okay? I don't know. I've made a decision. Can I do a poll? I was either going to stick for Wednesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. or 1 p.m. Like the last full throttle, I staggered it. We did 2 10 a.m. briefs and then a 1 p.m. brief or something like that. How do you guys feel? Do you like a split week or do you want them all at 10? Can anybody, you guys chat in here real quick? It's in the Q&A. I apologize. I'll fix the chat. There's a 1 p.m. 10. All right, people are doing, we're making a market here. Remember, you can always watch the replay. Looks like 10's winning out. All right, you don't have to chat anymore. 10's winning out. All right, so delete the Wednesdays and Thursdays at 1. We'll do 10. If you wanted 1, you can hopefully show up or watch the replay, okay? And real quick, here is the replay page. Make sure you mark this down right here. It's pretty easy to remember. Go.topgunoptions.com/FT replay. So let me give you this. You guys can see my chats that I'm posting, right? At least my chats. Save chat. Wait a minute. You ready for this? Move to the chat box. You would think, I can fly a $65 million airplane. Now you can chat. There's Jay. Jay, you get the gold star. You were first. Move over from the Q&A, folks. My apologies. Lisa. Hey, all right. Eli. Woo. Ball. All right. So there's the replay page. I will post everything. And if you got to bail, you got to do something, everything will be posted on the replay page. We good? Okay. All right, real quick, folks. If you don't know who I am, welcome aboard. My name is Matthew Buckley. You can call me Wiz. I'm Matthew to my mom or my wife if I'm in trouble. Thankfully, it doesn't happen too much more anymore. But you can call me Wiz, F-18 pilot, Top Gun grad, adversary pilot, Operation Southern Watch, Noble Eagle, Enduring Freedom, deployed off the Abraham Lincoln and the Kitty Hawk. What's this have to do with trading? Everything. After I lost my job with American Airlines because of 9/11, I was a trader. I taught myself how to trade on active duty, and you don't join the military to get rich. I joined the military to see the world, deliver justice to bad people. Taught myself how to trade. Popped up on the radar of a large volatility arbitrage firm headquartered in the Chicago Board of Trade. and helped build a hedge fund, helped build. Some of you might have traded at Options House. I wrote the name on the whiteboard for Options House. Had a blast, right? Essentially went from the trading pit to the cockpit. No offense to anybody from Chicago. You can keep it, especially nowadays, but I'm a Navy guy. I'm a beach guy. I need sun, sand, warmth. And Chicago in February was like a survival situation. So we moved down to Boca Raton, Florida, and started Top Gun Options. So we're going on, wow, 15 years. 15 years. I've been putting the ladder down to help people learn how to trade on their own, right? I'm also a best-selling author, wrote a book from sea level to sea level, going from the front lines to the front office, and then wrote a book, COVID Crash. We made, Top Gun Options members saw, I don't know if they made, many of them made more money than I did trading larger positions. $2.5 million in about the same time, 2.5 weeks. It was about 3 weeks. $2.5 million in 3 weeks during the COVID market crash. We're doing the same thing right now. I mean, I missed the initial, holy crap, Trump's going to kill us all move, but now we've been printing money with all this volatility. And we're going to laugh at the smart money here in a little bit. Bill Ackman and Kyle Bass and all these guys who were crying in the COVID crash. We need to shut markets down. No, we don't, buddy. I'm on the other side of your long only trades and I'm printing money. The last time Donald Trump said, stocks are looking good here, I'd be a buyer of stocks. The next day, the Dow went down 3,000 points. Now, he did it Friday or Thursday or whenever it was, and the market ripped. But we'll talk about that in a second. I also have a podcast called the Max Afterburner Podcast. It's ranked in the top 2.5% of podcasts in the world. Currently, there are 3.3 million podcasts. So go check that out. What do we mainly talk about over there? Our work at the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. Quick 2-minute brief on our No Fallen Heroes Foundation. 22 veterans, that's conservative. 22 veterans will take their lives every day. That's a mass shooting. God forbid 22 kids, not once a year. Could you imagine if 22 children were being shot in schools every day? Even the gun nuts in this country would do something. 22 veterans? Oh, well, thank you for your service. And what a tragedy. No, not what a tragedy. Do something. I did do something. If you've seen the movie Lone Survivor or read the book, I'm coming up on my 4-year anniversary. These 5 knuckleheads, Marcus Luttrell, the Lone Survivor, Jared Taylor from Black Rifle Coffee, JJ, he's a Navy SEAL vet with Marcus, he's a Top Gun Options member, and then Robert Gallery, an All-American from Iowa and an NFL veteran. We went to Mexico and we did psychedelic assisted therapy. It saved and changed my life. I was a drunk. I was separated from God. And in one of the most, the most challenging experiences of my life, 14 hours, it saved my life. That's Marcus Luttrell right there. Okay, so that's a little bit about me. I hate, I go play secret shopper at some of these other folks. They get in and they start talking about trading. I'm like, who are you? I don't even know who you are. If you go like trade with somebody, you don't even know who they are. Good luck. My mission objective. We don't do anything without a mission objective. What's my mission objective for this week? You're going to get up-to-date intelligence briefs. This thing is priceless, man. The people I talk to, the people I'm connected with, the stuff I hear is priceless. So you're going to need throughout the week. And when you become a member, we do intelligence briefs every morning before we get tactical and trade. If you're sitting here right now itching, like, when's he going to start trading? You should probably leave because you're a tactical trader. We're going to get strategic in a couple minutes, then we're going to peel the onion back and get operational, and then we're going to get tactical and trade. If you're sitting there in your bunny slipper and your robe, drinking coffee, going, where's the trades? We're not for you. I guarantee you. By Thursday of this week, you're going to know how to trade options. Period. Even my Marine brothers and sisters. You're going to learn how to turn panic into profit. One more time. For every panicked seller in the past month, there was a happy buyer. Dude, it's so weird how people don't understand that. 4 trillion lost in the market today, and somebody bought it. People, you can't just sell. I need to panic sell my shares. They don't get sold into the big bang, folks. They go to somebody who's happy. Us. Why now? Wiz, you just did one a month ago. Well, no offense. Some of you think you're a genius when the market's going straight up. You're not. Teaching my children to trade, they think they're smart when the market's going straight up. You know who's smart? Me and Top Gun Options members who make money when it's insanely dropping into the dirt. Markets take the escalator up and the elevator down, or the window in this case. So people aren't that smart. And Top Gun Options get swarmed when this type of stuff happens. I'm okay. I kind of like God forgave me and my sins. I'm not going to sit here and hold anything against you. Welcome. But why now? Folks, holy crap. A lot of geopolitical uncertainty, obviously, around trade wars and real wars. We're going to talk in a couple minutes. The sleeper story right now, ladies and gentlemen, is what? Iran. We're going to talk about the talks over this weekend, but Donald Trump on March 7th sent a letter to the mullahs that said, get rid of your nukes or I'm going to do it for you. That was March 7th. He gave them 2 months. Do the math. That's May 7th. He's repeated it. He's like, I'm not sure what they're not understanding. If they don't get rid of the nukes, we're going to get rid of them for them. And Netanyahu said the same thing. Iran. Well, peaceful purposes. And did you not hear us? So, folks, geopolitical uncertainty, trade wars, real wars is why we're talking now. Out of control debt and spending. I don't care what your political beliefs are, folks. There are people who are current TGO members like, dude, I can't stand your politics, but you print money. If I didn't trade what I believed, I'd be broke. There would be no Top Gun option. So why am I rambling about this? I don't care how you feel about Donald Trump. If you hate anybody, you need healing. I don't hate anybody. Might dislike some people, but if you hate Donald Trump, or you love him, I don't care. This party had to end. $37 trillion in debt. What did you want him to do? Let's just keep doing it. Okay. And then one day we become Russia. We wake up, we default on our debt. The US dollar isn't worth the paper it's printed on, and we become Weimar in Germany. You're buying a loaf of bread with a wheelbarrow full of dollars. Something had to break. Now, he took a shotgun, not a sniper, but that's his negotiation style. Interest rates. And, the bond, the 10-year just flipped by. I think we're okay with the 10-year today. But folks, interest rates, the Fed, the bond, anyway, all this stuff on the screen is why I'm talking to you now. And all of this stuff on the screen, folks, I see as profit. If you looked at that screen and you were worried, welcome aboard. You will join Top Gun Options today or by Thursday. I guarantee you. If you saw that screen and said, oh my God, we're going to get destroyed. No, we're not. They might. And if you don't join this week, that's up to you. Dan, 41%. Did you get out of that sniper? Awesome. I should be managing right now, but I'm instructing. But look at that, folks. I shot a sniper at the open, and it's already profitable. You're welcome. Well done, Mo. Ladies and gentlemen, only when the tide goes out do you discover who's been swimming naked. And having an old man on the screen saying naked, I'm sorry about that visual, but folks, everybody's a genius. I'm old enough to remember right here in December of 2023, Jerome Powell, the Fed chief, saying what? You know what? I think I'm going to cut interest rates sometime next year. What happened? A rip your face off rally. On what? Hope. When did he cut interest rates? September. 2 months in front of the election. Oh, the Fed's not political, Wiz. Pull this leg and it plays jingle bells. He did a 50-point cut in front of the election as inflation was going up. Now the arsonist is trying to be a volunteer firefighter. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was bound to happen. Speaking of Warren Buffett, the guy we just had on the screen, back here ish, I told TGO members what? That dude's walking towards the exit. He's dumping his Bank of America. He's moving the cash. 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, crash. When that guy, in the span of his investing career, has kind of, I'm gonna go hit the head. Boom. So right now, Warren Buffett, sitting on $300 billion in cash, is walking in and scooping up discounts. So again, if you felt like you were a Wile E. Coyote super investor, good on you. You weren't. If you're getting hammered in here, you're now a Top Gun Options member. So welcome aboard. I mean, look at that. Markets take the escalator up and the window down, right? Now, let's get a little bit of perspective real quick. This is from 2000. Why did I use this chart? The dot-com boom, Wiz. Oh my God, we're going to die, dot-com boom. Nope. Oh my God, 2008 financial crisis. We're all going to die. I was at ground zero, folks, for the financial crisis. 9/11, I was racing out to the air station to fly a combat air patrol with the F-16 guys next door. Oh my God, we're never going to survive. Wall Street's going to fail. Cats and dogs living together. What happened? Oh my God, COVID's going to kill us all. No, it's not. It's a scandemic. Joe Biden's going to kill us all. Whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, does anybody see a trend here? Ignore the fear porn, folks, and panic. Now, I'm really, really going to age myself with the next image. You ready? There's the meltdown at the top right. Why are you going to age yourself, Wiz? In 1991, I reported to Naval Air Station Key West. As a young ensign in the Navy, I put 25 or 50 bucks a month. I need to dig that out. I always never know. It was probably 50 bucks a month to the USA gross. That's when I started trading and investing, 91. This is my life in the markets. What's that, 34 years? Over 3 decades. Look at, there's a better look at the, oh my God, dot-com boom. Oh my God, financial crisis. Oh my God. I mean, COVID was nothing. Well, because Jerome Powell jumped in to save the US economy. But look at this. Put things into perspective. Now, if you're sitting here going, if I had $1 for every time in the past month, 3 weeks, I've heard this time it's different. Every one of these, this time it's different. Technically, they're right. This isn't the past, Wiz. Namaste, be present. I did my Maverick Mind microdose this morning. I meditated, thinking about Brooke and her family. I went to yoga. I'm centered, trust me. This is different. But ladies and gentlemen, every one of these has been a massive buying opportunity. If you think this is the Fred Sanford, this is the big one, dump everything right now. Get out of the webinar, sell everything. Sell the wife, kids, your house, your stocks. Go Unabomber in the mountains. GetMaverickMind.com, Thomas. Bob still has a black screen. Anyone able to help? Bro, I'm with you, man. I'm new to Zoom, but everybody else is seeing. I see what I'm sharing, and I'm sharing this chart right now. So I don't know what you got to figure out Zoom, brother. All right. So real quick before we do our intelligence brief and start trading and me showing you some option stuff. So retail, let me share this because retail traders have some serious pain points and investors. Real quick, let's do this. I want to launch these, okay? Let's do this. Let's do a quick poll. Go. And it allows me to get a drink of water. I want to know how familiar you are with Top Gun options. What's your market outlook for the next 3 months? And what's your knowledge of investing? Let's just do that real quick. Because before I talk about these pain points, I want to know where you guys are. Go ahead and give me answers right there. We got a ton of people in this room. I love it. All right. These local news reporters are disgusting people. Okay. All right. 100%. Wow. I love how many people answered. So, brand new. Awesome. Somewhat previous current member. All right, let me end the poll here. I'm going to share the results. Let's just look at this right now. Okay. And there we go. I don't know where I see the results. Let me go to chat. There we go. Eli, I don't know if there's a screenshot in Zoom, my brother. That's a good question. Very good question. I don't. All right, I'll stop sharing the poll. Good. That helps me know where we are. Retail investor pain points. First of all, no trade plan or SOP. Okay, I'm going to give you, did everybody, when you opted in, get the trade plan? Everybody should have the 7-step trade plan we're going to use this week. What's an SOP, standard operating procedure? Folks, you're going to see in a couple minutes when I start trading. Okay, good. People got the trade plan. If you didn't, I can resend it to you, but you should have been able to download it after you opted in. If you're not trading with a plan, you're an idiot. Trading is a form of combat. There's a winner and there's a loser. When we trade in a couple minutes here, watch this. Before we enter a trade, before I hit enter, we know when we're leaving. We know when we're getting out for max profit or minimum loss. Okay. Now, also, no risk management or poor risk management. That goes back to the trade plan and your SOP. This is going to be your Monday morning blinding piece of brilliance. You can't make money if you're losing money. That sounds like a Yogi Berra, but that's exactly right, folks. Risk management. Before we place any trade this week, we're not going to look at how much we can make. The first thing we're going to look at is how much can I lose in this trade? If you're not okay with that amount, either don't do the trade or you lower your position size. Common retail investor pain point is trading too large, especially in volatile markets. Okay, I'm going to help you with that. Wiz, seems like I always buy high and sell low. You ready for this? Don't do that. Doc, my arm hurts when I do this. Stop doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, stop it. Your panic buying at the bottom is why you suck and you hate Wall Street. Wall Street doesn't know you exist, man. Stop buying high and selling low. You're trading too large. Ladies and gentlemen, if you place a trade and you're lying in bed at night going, oh my God, what are the futures at? Or if that's you, stop it. You're trading too large. You're going to see me this week. When I place a trade, I'm going to go, this is my max potential loss. And this is an amount of money where I'm going to go, it's going to suck, but it's not going to blow me out. Clearly, I want to make profit, but I am okay with this risk. Now, my current members in here will tell you that Wiz trades what? Okay. What does that mean? When the market imploded over the past 2 weeks, how did I feel? Okay. What about Friday, Wiz, when 90-day pause and it ripped higher? How did you feel? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you feel horrible when the market implodes and super great when it goes up, you're trading wrong. You should feel like a hedge fund. What does that mean? Hedge funds are designed to make money up, down, sideways. They make consistent returns. They don't do this and they don't do that. If they do that, they're not a hedge fund by definition. So you should feel centered. Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest retail pain point is emotional. 90% of trading is emotional. How do you take the emotions out of trading? Ladies and gentlemen, discipline, risk management, trade plan, SOP. That's why you're here. I'm going to help you with all this shit real quick, and then we're going to get airborne. The hell's an option, Wiz? There was like 6% of you who are brand new. Welcome. Option, this is going to be super quick. You use options. I don't trade options. Yeah, you do. You've been trading options for a long time. Let me give you an example. I use this example from years ago because I was thinking about moving out to Colorado, right? All right, so here we go. Looked online. I saw this beautiful home in Aspen, downtown Aspen. Let's just say it was $5 million. I don't know what it was. Okay. I fly into Aspen and I say, you know what? I want to buy this house, $5 million. I love it. But my realtor's like, whoa, 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 Wiz, you're here for, a month to house hunt. Why don't we offer the seller 50 grand to take this home off the market for the next 30 days? You have the right to buy this home at $5 million at any time in the next 30 days. I love that. That's a great idea. Guess what happens? I'm going to give you two examples. During that 30-day time period, the first thing that could happen or is going to happen for my example is this. Governor Jared Polis says, you know what? I'm finally going to get tough on crime, even though I'm a limousine liberal. And I'm going to build a prison right next to that house. The value of this home essentially goes to zero. What happens to me? I ain't buying the house, baby. Seller, you can keep the 50 grand. You're going to need it to put up a guard tower on your property. And I walk away. My option expires worthless. Does everybody understand that? Okay. So that's the bad scenario. Let's talk about the good. I am going around Aspen. I'm doing a medicine retreat, helping people heal with psilocybin. During that time, Jesus, Muhammad, Ganesh, Buddha, they all come back. And they say, you know what? We're going to open a healing center right next to this property. The price of this home goes up to, $100 million. Guess what happens to my call option? That 50 grand call option that I came out of pocket is now worth, $5 million. So at the end of the 30 days, I have the right? Buyers of call option, buyers of anything. I bought a home, I bought a car, I bought a boat, I bought a call option. Buyers have rights. I have the right to this home at $5 million. I have the right to the keys to my new home. I have the right to the keys to the boat. Buyers have rights. Sellers have obligations. The seller of this home is obligated to give me the damn keys, and I'll give you the $5 million. Seller of the boat, give me the keys, right? So buyers have rights, sellers have obligations. So at the end of the 30 days, in the Jesus example, I can buy this home for $5 million. Or in the case of options, equity options is what we're going to be trading. In the case of equity options, guess what? 90 in my 30 whatever years of doing this, the majority of call options are what? Never exercised. They're traded out of. I have a buddy in Fort Lauderdale. He's a yacht broker. Or yacht trader. He's never owned a yacht in his life. He'll buy a call option on a 150-foot Ferretti, and 3 years from now, it's worth like 250 grand or whatever. He's like, dude, I buy and sell the contracts on these things. I never took a delivery of a yacht in my life. Does everybody understand this? That took longer because I was being funny. If you followed that example, you know how to trade a call option, right? We're going to look at, since we're technically in the solo Amazon brief this morning, we're going to go look at Amazon. Okay. So that is a call option. That's it. I gave you a date. 30 days out. I gave you a strike price, 5 million bucks. And we talked about premium, the 50 grand that we paid. If you understand those things, you are an options trader. Welcome aboard Top Gun Options. Now let's do the opposite. There's something you probably have heard of called a put option. Put, right? A put option, ladies and gentlemen, is nothing but technically insurance. Americans own 3 assets: a home, some Americans obviously, a home, a car, and a portfolio. But guess what? Your mortgage or the state most likely requires you to have what? Home insurance, flood insurance, wind, hurricane insurance. Your USAA or State Farm requires you to have car insurance. So does the state of Florida. What about your portfolio? My 401k is getting hammered. It's Donald Trump's fault. No, it isn't. It's your fault. Ladies and gentlemen, a put option allows you to potentially profit as something goes down. Most of you have probably heard about this. Somebody at a cocktail party like, oh, the market's really getting hammered. I'm going to go buy a put option. Exactly. We're going to look at that in a couple seconds here. So a call option usually when you buy is bullish. A put option when you buy it is insurance. It makes money as something goes down. Got it? Now, let's just reverse those two real quick. If you buy a call option, you're bullish. I think something's going to go up. Somebody has to sell you that. We talked about this a little while ago. Somebody has to sell you that option. They're bearish. They don't think something's going to go up, so they're going to sell you that option. Same thing with the put. I'm buying a put option. It's going to go down. No, it's not, buddy. I'm going to sell you that option. Technically, insurance companies are put sellers. They sell you that policy. You pay them. They get paid. Sellers are obligated, aren't they? I'm selling you your car insurance, Wiz, and I just got rear-ended somebody. Oh, crap. I've been paying you premiums, baby. Go pay for my car. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. If you understand this, welcome aboard. Now, let me give you a quick news flash. Stocks and crypto, for all you crazy people trading crypto, can go to zero. This is the point in the presentation where I dispel all the myths. Like people go, I've heard options are dangerous, and that's because they don't want you using them. Ladies and gentlemen, options, New York and Chicago in 1971 or 2, call options came up. You know why they came up with call options? I don't have enough money to buy 100 shares of this stock. Why don't we come up with a contract that'll allow me to control that for a certain period of time? Aha! It was the back room smoke Chicago. They never, in the early 70s, think about the internet or us doing a webinar or the unwashed retail masses trading options. So the lies about options have been going on for way too long. Options do not go to zero. The premium that we just talked about, that 50 grand in the Aspen House example with the prison, can go to zero. What would you rather lose? The $5 million or the 50 grand? So technically options don't go to zero, folks, in the sense that the house can go to zero. Do you understand that? Lehman Brothers, Bear Stearns, Pets.com, Enron, man. The options in those things, they went to zero or worthless, but they were a fraction of the shares. Next time you're at a cocktail party, you tell people you're an options trader and they're like, oh, that's dangerous. Just kind of laugh. I never went flying in the F-18 Hornet without an ejection seat. Options are an ejection seat, right? Okay. So real quick, what do you need to trade successfully, folks? Training. I'm going to train you. We have Options Weapon School, 7 sessions, building block approach. This is a call. This is a put. I just did that, but it's an hour deeper into that. It's called Options Weapon School. You need a tight plan. If you didn't get the 7-step trade plan, I'll make sure you get it sometime this week. We're going to step through it right now when we place a trade. Okay? You need a plan. It's so funny. Professional investors are like, people need to trade with a plan. Great point. What's your trade plan? Next question. I'm giving you mine. I used it over Iraq and in Wall Street. And you need a practical application. You're in the practical application. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, live trade brief. We practically apply what you learn in your training live with actionable trade ideas. You need these three things. This is what you need. How the hell do you know what I need, Wiz? I've been you. I was a young 25, 3, 4-year-old lieutenant teaching. This is before Al Gore invented the internet, folks. I had to go to the base library and like get books on options trading. I did this on my own, man. Taught myself, went to Wall Street, and came up with Top Gun options, folks. So I've been you. If I had Top Gun options when I was in the Navy doing the stuff, Elon Musk would be working for me. Real quick, this is what we look like. On the left side of the fence, you need a paper trading account. So for all the 6% of you that are literally brand new, open a brokerage account. I think, most brokerage accounts need at least $2,000 if you want to trade on margin on some borrowed money. But I think almost every broker nowadays has a virtual trading platform or paper trading where they give you a fake, $100,000 or $50,000 in monopoly money. Go to the simulator building. I didn't read a book on flying the F-18 and run out to the F-18. I would have been dead. Read a book on flying the F-18, went to the simulator building, went through my checklist, my startup procedures, emergencies, air-to-air dogfighting, dropping bombs, everything. We did everything in the simulator before what? We went out to the airplane. So, and let me say something. It's not gray. Let's just say when you go to open a brokerage account and you want to trade options, they're going to ask you questions. How experienced are you with trading options? And you're like, nah, the brand new. It's going to be an ass pain for you to add it down the road. So if you are enrolling in Top Gun options, listen to me, sit up straight. If you're joining us this week, when you get to those questions opening your brokerage account and they're like, how long have you been trading options? Please tell them you've been trading options for a little bit. That's up to you. I'm speaking from the heart because you won't get the level of options approval for some of the stuff that we're doing here. I'm pretty sure you as the tick, the trader in command, can go, you know what? I'm going through options weapon school with Wiz and full throttle live briefs. I'm going to learn. You don't have to do that. You can answer their questions to the best of your whatever, and you're going to have to down the road like resubmit forms and compliance. And they do it because they think you're an idiot, kind of like the pattern day trader rule. A government that's $37 trillion in debt telling me what I can do and can't do in investing makes me fucking furious. How dare you? Anyway, training. We're in the solo Amazon brief. I'm going to do that Thursday, but I just want to show you what we do here. We have solo Amazon and then full throttle. So technically, we're opening the doors this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for full throttle. Solo Amazon, I'll do Thursday to show you what that's all about. Once you really know what you're doing, we have two investment clubs. We have the Hunters and the Max Afterburner, the lifetime membership. That's a significant investment. We can talk down the road with that. But you can potentially join the Hunters today, and I'm going to explain that. For people who are like, you know what, I really want to be able to execute and do some good work. I love it. Okay. So under the training arm, like I said, you're in full throttle. We have 7, not 6. I just added a new options weapon school session. I'm going to change that right now before I forget. It's 7 of them. Why? Because I just added kind of my sniper day trading session. So now you have 7 options weapon school sessions, and you have the live trade brief sent in. It's called Options Weapon School. There they are right there. We take a building block approach. This is investing. These are the basics, tactical trade planning. This is a call. This is a put. Look at that. You got a little bit of session 2 for free today. The covered calls, spreads, double vertical, synthetic stock. And then, like I just said, I added recently this one. Mo doing the sniper shot in 11 minutes and making 40% is because of this. You should join today if you kind of know what you're doing to get access to that sniper session right there. While I'm thinking about it, because if there is some profit in that, I want to close it. 75% $2,000. I'm going to get out for 75% $2,000. Look at that. And I'm giving you a demo, and that was in what? In 49 minutes, about an hour. So let me show you what the app looks like, or the hunters. Here's the hunters right here. Oop, logged me out for some reason. Let me log in. All right, well, you guys are live, but there we go. So you get access to an app. You download an app on your phone, and obviously it's online here. There's 2 threads. This is where I post all my intelligence and commentary. And then this is the trade alert thread, right? Look at this. This is where I posted it. I posted this an hour ago. Now I'm going to do this. Closing SPX day bull put spread. What was it? 75%, 2K in 1 hour. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is just about a year of access to Full Throttle in an hour. I paste the trade in there, the closing trade, and I fire it. 1 potato, 2 potato. There's the alert. And now I post it over here in our lifetime group. So I didn't mean to get tactical like this, but you got to take profits when you see them closing. And they look at the S&P right now going up even more. Closing day bull SPX. Day pull day. Okay. 2K, 75% in 1 hour. And I paste that in there, and the trailer said, this is our lifetime group. It's called Max Afterburner. There's 215 folks in our lifetime group. And, oops, clear drawings. And then over here in the hunters, what do we, 269. There's 269 folks over here in the hunters. You can join the hunters today. Let's talk about that before we move on to get tactical here. Good call on the trade, baby. I love it. SPX is still going up. I get filled. I'm filled. I'm out on that. Yes, I think that was even more. I got filled at $1.90. I got out at $1.40. Nice. All right, folks. So you're in a live trade brief, and I essentially paid for a year of Full Throttle for you. Men lie, trades don't. All right. So that's Options Weapons School. You get your manuals. These things are $197. They're included. And then here's the quick flight schedule we usually have for our member briefs. It's different right now since we're in free week, but this is usually how the week goes. Primary brief, Tuesdays at 10, AR, accelerated retirement, longer dated trades, psychedelics and stuff like that. Wednesday at 10 a.m. And then Monday, technically, is Solo Amazon at 10 a.m. So technically, we're kind of in Solo Amazon, but I'm doing a free week of trading. So I moved that to Thursday. Okay. But this is our usual week here at Top Gun Options. Our methodology, which I'm going to demonstrate and trade, SOT, Strategic Operational Tactical. Most of you, if you're new to Top Gun Options, this is you. You're very tactical. Wiz, where's the trade? What's going on? Very, very tactical traders. I'm going to break you of that. We're going to do a global economic, political, and military brief in a couple seconds. Then I'm going to peel the onion back and get operational. Here in the U.S., what's going on domestically, economically, politically, all sorts of stuff like that. And then, and only then, can you get tactical and trade. Strategic brief, depending on what's going on in the world, 5-10 minutes. Operational brief, depends on what's going on in the country, 5-10 minutes, maybe 20. Tactical, depends on what's going on in the market. So usually our live trade briefs, Monday through Wednesday, are about an hour. I'll probably go a little long today, obviously, but understand that for free Full Throttle training, it's going to go usually a little bit longer. If you have a screenshot thing, I think I saw in some of the comments you guys can do that. This is the 7-step trade plan that we're about to employ. Okay. If you don't have your trade plan, I'll make sure I'll figure out how to upload stuff. I'll figure it out. Okay, so SOT, folks. This is the tactical trade plan, the part of our SOT. I'm not going to take too much time, folks, you can go to Trustpilot right now. 101 reviews. We're 4.9. There was some guy who couldn't stand my political views, and he gave me a 1.0. 1.0 out of everybody. Nestor, we booted that guy. He was whatever. Okay. Let's get to this, and then we're going to trade. Why am I briefing this? So you know whether or not you're going to do it or not. Even if I haven't showed you any trades yet, even though we just made $2,000, I'm going to show you the investment to get airborne. So you got to get your slot when you go, all right, now I'm in. We hit 25. There will not be a 26. Do not email support and say, hey, I wanted to get in. You won't be able to because I don't want 26. So let me just brief you on this real quick. The investment to get airborne, 90, the last time we looked, I actually did look last week. It went up from about 80, 85% of our members. About 90% of our members are in full throttle max. Okay, you get access to everything I just talked about and the hunters, right? That investment club I just talked about. It's $29.95 with one trade in an hour this morning. I think it was an hour, maybe less than an hour. I paid $2,000 of that. Unless I'm a complete idiot, by Thursday, I'm not only going to have paid for that, your membership, I'm going to have paid for potentially a lifetime membership because I love the market moving around here. Now, I want access to that investment club, the hunters and everything, but I'm not ready for the annual. Do a couple months in the hunters, baby. It's $497 a month. So I just paid for 4 months of your hunters with that S&P 500 trade. 4 months of your hunters was paid for. This is the test in hunters. And then you email me or support in a couple months and say, all right, I'm good. I want to upgrade and save some money with the annual. Does everybody understand that? Middle, right, hunters, and everything we just talked about. Okay. Now on the left, I don't do, well, I do trials, folks. You're in a trial. People are like, do you do trials? I'm like, yeah, it's called full throttle. I open up the doors for a week. If you're still like, by the end of this week, like, yeah, I'm half pregnant, it's $295 a month. You do not get access to the hunters. This is the, I'm a newbie. I'm still kicking the tires. Okay. Does everybody understand that? Wanted to cover this now because if you're like ready to go, you're ready to go. All right. Let me get, yeah, I will. I'll give you that link right now. Well, it's just on the homepage. Let me just go to TOPGUNoptions.com. It's right up here, folks. Trade groups and then full throttle. And look at that. The S&P 500 just turned, baby. Love it. We might shoot a bear. And if you're sitting here going, dude, I'm not following any of what's the sniper trading thing. You'll get there. Chat. Let me give you this. Paste. Any questions? That took about an hour, which is about what I expected. Now we're gonna get airborne here. Any questions? How about Goldman Sachs, man? Did you see JP Morgan as well? JP Morgan last week. All right, I'm gonna ripple through a strategic brief, operational brief, and then we're gonna get tactical. Yeah, it's only 25 members. $29.95. I just made $2,000, folks, in an hour. If you're a current member, I'd shoot a sniper bearish, but I got to focus. Let me look real quick. We got up to, and I'm not ignoring free members right now. You're technically in a live trade brief, so deal with me dealing with my real members because I love doing this. We got up and failed at the 20-day. And of course, my free squeezes. So you see that right here? So we got up, almost kissed the 20-day here. So that's technically a little bearish. I think we're going to pull back to, so maybe if there's premium up to a 55.50 for today. All right. That's just me throwing that over my shoulder because I need to talk to these other folks and do a regular brief. You good? That's what I'd be looking at right now. Or you just sit on your hands. Nice job, PJ. You bet, Lisa. All right, here we go, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, over the weekend, like I said, this is a sleeper story. Iran. The initial readout was the U.S. was, I forget what the word was, satisfied or okay with the talks. I think the Iranians said the same thing. There was no breakthrough. Like, we're going to get rid of nukes. And it wasn't, we're going to kill you. I'm telling you, this is a sleeper story. I listened to Trump. I listened to Netanyahu. Netanyahu has said this since day one. They will not get nuclear weapons. When the Islamic Republic of Iran attacked Israel twice, directly, not through their coward proxies, Netanyahu pulled his punches. Why? He knew if Trump came in, he'd be able to destroy him. What do you think the market's going to do if or when there's an attack on Iran? What do you think oil's going to do? So, ladies and gentlemen, I pick up my binoculars and I look a little farther out in time than everybody talking about tariffs and what Lutnick said over the weekend. I care about a little further out. So we're going to talk, if we don't get to it today, maybe tomorrow, we're going to talk about a hedge or a trade. It's a trade. When I place a trade, it better make money, or I'm not placing the trade. When I use a hedge, I don't mind if it loses money. Wait a minute. Wiz just said he doesn't mind if he loses money. Yeah. Do you think I minded flying in the Hornet and I landed safely and got out of the jet and looked at the ejection seat and said, well, that sucks, I didn't use it? What are you, stupid? A hedge, I don't mind losing money. A trade, I better make money. So this technically would be a bearish trade that would make money if the market implodes, and I'm placing it as a trade because I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. Okay. So Iran on the radar, man. CENTCOM, the United States will not tolerate any country or commercial entity providing support to terrorists such as the Houthis, offloading ships and provisioning oil. Who's doing that? Iran. Who's doing that? North Korea, Russia. CENTCOM is telling people, your ship pulls into a Houthi port to give them stuff, we're going to bomb you. Again, SOT, folks, you got to be thinking about this stuff. Most people aren't even talking about this. I am. Trump exempts. Why did we get a little bit of a rally today? Because over the weekend, did the president blank? Trump exempts tech products from latest tariffs, but plans a separate tech levy. I got to be honest with you. I don't like Lutnick, and I think Navarro's an idiot. Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, is tight. That man is good. He was a hedge fund manager. Prints money. He needs to be the face of this administration and all of this, not Lutnick. Lutnick's a clown, and it was a clown car over the weekend on the Sunday shows. So we were ripping over the weekend, and then well, no, 90 days or this or those weren't exempted. I don't like strategic ambiguity, right? One China policy. What does that mean? Well, Taiwan is part of China. Okay, well, we're going to invade it and take it back. No, you can't do that. What do you mean you can't? You just said it's part of us. And well, no, we're being strategically ambiguous. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. When it comes to war, actual or trade, you need to be less ambiguous and go, here's the effing deal. So the reason we didn't get a massive rip today is because of the clown car. We need more clarity, folks, and we're not getting it. I'm hearing, you're hearing on my back channels. I'm hearing, folks, people are trying to make deals. The good, even if you don't like Donald Trump, is that he can be nuts. He was going to bomb North Korea, folks, and they said, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to kill you, cream of some young guy. And he sent him a picture from a drone with a bullseye on his head. The guy was like, oh my God, this guy's crazier than me. Can you meet me in Singapore? Sure. So if this is true, countries are lining up to make deals, which would be good. Did you see the inflation print on Thursday? Did you see the inflation print on Friday? CPI and PPI came in. This is good. This is good. Of course, the Wall Street Journal has turned into the New York Times. Inflation eased in March. Should have been the headline. But tariffs threaten to stoke price pressures. Okay. Eeyore here. Ladies and gentlemen, this over here is good. I'm not going to read all this, but folks, let me be honest with you. This is a binary trade at this point. What does that mean? 12 to 18 months from now, either the economy and the stock market is having a rip your face off rally, or it's failed miserably and cats and dogs are living together. Either way, I feel like Colonel Jessup. I don't give a damn what you think because I'm going to print money either way. If we have a 12 to 18 month rip your face off rally, I'm going to show you right now how we can get long-term bullish and bet on a turnaround. I'm also going to show you how, if we're going to have another leg down on war with Iran or just all the tariff war was horrible, we're going to print money going down. Okay. So inflation was good news last week. These guys cracked me up. Ray Dalio. I love me some Ray Dalio. Why? Because he's in my COVID crash book. He's a legendary investor, the world's largest hedge fund manager. Oh, he's the guy who was in Davos in January of 2020, who looked into the camera on CNBC and said, cash is trash. If you're in cash right now, you're an idiot. I looked into this camera and told you, I'm like, get out. Buy puts on the S&P 500, get long volatility. And then the market imploded. Ray Dalio. So these guys running around screaming and crying. Look at Bill Ackman. Bill Ackman's rants. I love this. I actually double checked this and it's true. Remember when he went on COVID or on CNBC during the COVID crash and cried. The back of one of my books has a quote from Lloyd Blankfein. Speaking of Goldman Sachs, Lloyd Blankfein said he was in a limousine pulling up to the New York Fed on a Sunday afternoon. Remember in the COVID crash, Sunday was big because the Asian markets opened that night. So they were all having a meeting at the New York Fed like on a Sunday afternoon. And one of his lieutenants, funny to use a rank in this case, one of his lieutenants was like freaking out. And Lloyd Blankfein, to his credit, said, hey, man, relax. You're getting out of a limo to walk into the New York Fed. You're not storming out of a Higgins boat on Omaha Beach. So these guys crack me up. They wet their pants if a car backfired. But he cried at the COVID bottom. Boom. Did the same thing. Persistent inflation involved his tariff tantrum. And then, Trump kind of blinked, allegedly. But isn't it funny? These legendary, and Bill Ackman said, well, we're a long only fund. And of course, some of my stuff is getting hammered. You don't trade options, buddy. You're not protecting your longs. So every time he wanks, it's a bottom. So use that as your indicator. Why'd I have this up? Oh, this was funny. Guess look who followed me this morning on Twitter. Kyle Bass. A bunch of these guys started following me. I don't think Bill Ackman started following me yet because I was giving him a little bit of grief. But this morning, Kyle Bass is another one of those, quote, legendary investors. So as of this morning, he's following me. Okay. This was good news too, folks, but the market's ignoring it is what? Budget plan. The House passed the GOP budget. And of course, Hakeem Jeffries, Obama, Temu said what? Well, 3 Democrats died in the past month and they wouldn't be able to, win that budget resolution had we had all our people. So over to the Senate. But folks, this was a big deal. I'm not happy with it. It gets deeper in debt and everything, but we're at least putting a Band-Aid on a sucking chest wound. We're trying. JP Morgan, ladies and gentlemen, mixed results, but I thought they were pretty good. Record trading revenues. What did I tell you, ladies and gentlemen? When the markets get crazy like this, Goldman Sachs, like they reported this morning, JP Morgan, they end up printing money. They're FIC, fixed income, currency, and commodity trading. That's what FIC stands for. Okay, any other questions? Now we got to get tactical. I got 20 minutes to trade and get tactical here. And then last week, folks, I haven't showed you this in a while, if ever. Call, put, what is it, CP? Ladies and gentlemen, the call put ratio, whenever it gets above a 1 or close to a 1, is a bullish indicator. Let's look in the last 6 months. If you don't know what this means, I'll teach you. Last week, towards the end of last week, the call put ratio went up here. Now we're obviously down here a little bit, but folks, these are usually buy signals, and we'll talk about that. All right, here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the new folks, I'm going to be super quick. Let's use Amazon since we're technically in solo Amazon. Folks, if you're new, Amazon should be up a lot more than this. It's not. If you are new, ladies and gentlemen, and you wanted to buy 100 shares of Amazon today, you would need, look at this, buy one. This is an order ticket. Buy 100 shares of Amazon. You would need 100 or 18,400 bucks, right? Does everybody see that? Where is my little, there it is, spotlight, right? So that's exactly what you would need right now. Let's not do that. Unless you got 18,400 bucks, why would you do that? So right now, you see all these dates up here? This is like the Aspen house. 30 days from now, we had an option contract. Well, these are when various options contracts will expire, come to maturity, right? So we can hop in our time machine and we can go all the way out to December of 2027. Why? I want to go as far out in time into the future as I humanly can to get bullish on Amazon. I'm limited on time. Buy Amazon with both hands. Go watch one of my solo Amazon recordings on this. It's the Death Star. It destroys everything it touches, period. So ladies and gentlemen, right here, we can go 977 days into the future. Now I'm going to just do some basic options talk right now. Okay. If I wanted to, the stock is currently at let's just round up, 184. In the middle here, you see these are the prices, the strike prices. $5 million home, Amazon at 180. This is called at the money. The at the money call options, I guess technically you could say, are the 180s or the 185, since we are literally right in between them. We're closer to 185. So I'm going to click on this, right? If I bought one December of 2027 185 call option, it's $5,000. You, when you buy this single Amazon call option, are controlling 100 shares of Amazon for the next 977 days. Somebody tell me why you would spend 18,400 bucks. You can't. Or you're going to mistakenly start typing right now, well, if you use call options, you can't get a dividend. Jeff Bezos doesn't know what the word dividend means. He has said that. He's like, that dividends are stupid. If Amazon makes $1 in profit, I'm going to put that dollar back in the company. That's why Democrats also hate Amazon. Why? They need to pay their fair share. Jeff Bezos pulls out his financials and goes, yeah, we're barely breaking even. That's how you build a bigger Death Star. I could not be more bullish on Amazon. So you don't get dividends, folks, anyway. And, well, Wiz, if you don't own the shares, you don't get to vote as a shareholder. Are you dumb? His ex-wife and him probably own one or two more shares than you'll ever own in your life. Your vote means nothing. So two things that you would get if you own the shares are not applicable for this stock. Do you understand? So one more time, I'm going to ask the new folks, would you rather spend $18,400 or would you rather spend $5? Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. You could buy a single 185 call option today for $5,000. You could do that, put it in your filing cabinet, and not look at it for the next 2 years. And I'm going to guarantee you, unless Amazon's hit by a nuclear weapon, you're going to print filthy money. Look at the chart of Amazon. Folks, I have synthetic stock up at, like 235 or 225 from a couple months ago. Am I upset? Nope, because I've added all the way down in my Amazon across various portfolios. So look at this. What was this? 2 months ago, folks, Amazon was at 245. We got as low as, what was it? Oh my God, 155. It was an absolute gift. I told TGO members, I told the solo Amazon group, sell everything you own and buy Amazon down at 155. If you did, you've already made $30+. You're welcome. Now, if you're just Wiz, I'm just joining you, baby. Good. You could do that right now, but don't do that right now. I'm cheap. I'm gonna do you a solid. When you buy the call option, you're what? You told me I'm bullish. Correct. When you buy a put option, what are you? Well, I'm bearish. Okay, well, in this case, we think Amazon's going up. So you wouldn't want to buy a put. What could you do with a put if you think a car ain't going to crash or the stock's going to go up? You could sell a put. If you don't understand that, options weapon school training. Let's sell a put at the same strike as the call. When you buy a call option and you sell a put option at the same strike and the same expiration when the contract expires, you create a position called synthetic stop. Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? Now, I want everybody to give me a golf clap because you buying 100 shares of Amazon was $18,400. You buying a call option was $5,000. You doing the tactic on the screen right now is $1,600. I want this to settle because if you're new to options trading, you're probably like, son of a, trust me, when I started trading out, I don't want to tell you when I started trading options. When a guy gave me this type of brief, I'm like, why have I been? Exactly. Your life changes in this moment. I want this to sink in. Instead of spending $18,450, you're spending $1,600 to be synthetically long Amazon stock. I think Amazon stock by 2027 is a $300, maybe even a $400 stock. Could you, this, I'm going to pull my punch a little bit. This potentially with a $1,600 investment is a six-figure trade. If Donald Trump doesn't get us all killed and the economy is ripping and the stock market's ripping, this trade for $1,700, I'll round up, is potentially a six-figure profit. I've done this, folks. I've been doing this for so long. And obviously you have to, so let's, it's not all sunshine and lollipops. Before I even do anything, let's talk about the potential bad, right? So let's look at this. When I analyze, your potential profit is what? Unlimited, right? If Amazon goes to $500, it goes to $500. But we, as options traders, what did I tell you at the beginning of this brief? We got to look at what is our max potential loss. The max potential loss in this trade is $20,000. Whoa, 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 what the hell? Hey, Einstein, if you were buying 100 shares of Amazon, what was your max potential loss? What do you mean, Amazon can go to zero. The stock can go to zero, folks. You will lose $18,400. Right? So the synthetic stock, you're going to be margined or haircut, it's called. E-Trade's going to say, well, that's the same risk when you're using these options. It's a little bit more elevated than just buying the shares because of the short put. We can talk about that sometime later. But here's what I'm going to do. We're going to buy what I call a protective put underneath this. Now, for most of my personal portfolios, I don't need to do this because I have a lot of margin and I don't need what I call a protective put, right? I'm going to go out. What's a disaster? You've probably heard this in the past 3 weeks. Amazon's in a bear market. The S&P 500 is in a bear market. Apple's in a bear. When you hear the term something, fill in the blank, is in a bear market, it means it's down about 20%. So I'm just going to buy what I call a protective put, a disaster put, which is what? What's 20%? What's that? 20, what is that? 140? Somebody do what's 20% of 183? Somebody do that real quick. Oops, sorry. I already have the disaster put up there. what is it? 140, 145. Who did it? Thank you. 140, 150. All right. Well, I'm getting disagreements. I'll meet you in the middle. 145. So, ladies and gentlemen, now look at what happened in this trade. Okay. So the cost went up a little bit, right? Because I'm buying some insurance. So adding this put right here. Now I'm coming out of pocket $3,300. Okay. But watch, my call sign's Wiz for some other reasons, but watch the wizardry I just did. We were risking 20 grand in this synthetic stock. Now look at it. $7,300. Again, suckers who trade stocks, please tell me why. Tell me why. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have a margin account, I think based on the margin rules, you only need like $2 grand in your account, maybe $2,500 to do this trade. On your screen right now, folks, is a tactic we call synthetic stock. Instead of spending close to 20 grand, we're spending 3. We have a protective put on there. If Amazon went to hell in a handbasket, we're okay. If you are new to Top Gun options, you're new to options in general, and you just kind of followed, you can do this. You're going to have access to Options Weapon School. The Options Weapon School session 6, synthetic stock, is an hour and a half of training. I did it in 10 minutes. So if you barely understood it, but kind of got it, welcome aboard. I'm going to do one more thing, though. I'm cheap. I'm going to have the market, somebody else, pay this $3,300 over time. I'm going to have this trade for free. So all the chumps who are buying 100 shares, they're chumps. What do I mean? I'm going to sell what I call the front month. What's the front month? You're sitting in the front month, April, May, June. I'm going to sell a call out to Friday against Amazon. I'm going to put a roof on it. Let me bring the chart up in the back. So looks like 190 is kind of been is a little bit of ceiling right now, right? So ladies and gentlemen, I could sell in April 25. That's Friday. That's Friday's expiration. 190 call. That's me putting a roof on Amazon out to Friday. I will bring in $121. Ladies and gentlemen, unless the stock's ripping higher, each week I can sell a little roof against it and bring in a little bit of money. You could do a lower call, which would be a little bit more aggressive. You bring in a little bit more money, $200. See this right here? It would be bringing in $200. But the way things are whipping around right now, that's a little aggressive. Breaking news: Donald Trump, I'm best friends with Xi. No more trade war, and the stock's up at $250. You're going to get blown out of those short calls. Okay, so I wouldn't do the 187.5 out to Friday. I do the 190s. There's a whole lecture that you have to know about selling short calls against this that you will cover in the Options Weapon School training. Do not let Amazon expire Friday above 190, or you're going to have some Amazon stock in your short stock in your brokerage account. Separate conversation. And I got a cruise here for time. Let me grab screenshots of this. So I can put this out to my members. And then I'm going to take 7 minutes to start answering questions. Folks, I didn't think I was going to do this today, this synthetic stock, but I felt it. After nearly 3,000 hours in the F-18 and over 3 decades doing this, this is what I felt to do. I was going to talk about some S&P 500, but all right, let me resume. Let me share this with our members. And then I'm going to scroll up, man. This is new. Zoom's new to me. I see all like 96. That's giving me agita. I'm one of those guys, like if I have a red thing on my cell phone, like 2 unread messages, I got to clear that. Other people are like, I have 190 unread messages. All right. New Amazon synthetic what was that? It was Jan of 27, right? New Jan 27 synthetic stock. At everyone, so everybody gets the alert, needs to be in the trade alerts thread. This position is for new members, or if you want to add to exists. Typing is not my best skill here, folks. All right, so then I'm going to click add image. So with my sniper shots, folks, I call them sniper shots, those quick in and out S&P 500 ones. I don't, since they are time critical, I just kind of copy literally from the order ticket and paste it in for the sake of time. With these that are not super time critical, I take a screenshot of the image and paste them in there. So the alert will go out with those images in it. So I'll publish that and then also give it to my lifetime folks, my treasured lifetime folks. New Amazon Jan 27 synthetic stock. This position is for new members, or you could add to existing position. All right, let me post this and then I'll flow back and answer questions. And my phone is buzzed at least 3 times. I get an alert when new member joins. So we're already eating into the 25 memberships, folks. Do not be trying to be 26. I guarantee you it'll be too late. Anybody else do that? Good snipers. S&P's starting to fade, folks. That bear call spread that I told you to shoot is looking pretty good. What did I tell you? I said, where's the S&P? At 55.50, you should have shot it. I told you, man. There we go. So right here, as it started to roll, I got a 246. I said, shoot that 55.50. Look, I think we're going back down to 5,400. So today, folks, if you had shot that other one, and you probably don't know what I'm talking about, I paid for full throttle already in a live trade brief. This isn't, nice job, Lena. This isn't death by PowerPoint, folks. I'm one of the only, I'm the only guy or gal in the industry that does this. People are like, dude, you should at least charge for that week. You're making us look bad. I give a briefing of 192 PowerPoint slides showing trades from 5 years ago when I made money. No thanks. Sandeep, what if we don't take the 190 call for 425? Sandeep, you can absolutely do that. I'm just showing you how you can bring in a little extra coin to help pay for it. So Sandeep, I would absolutely not sell that short call out to Friday if you think Amazon's going to rip. When something is on a tear, either join it or get out of the way. So right now, if I failed to do it, I'm going to clean it up right now. You can just sit on your hands, do the synthetic stock, and whiz it. There's too much volatility. I don't need to sell a short call. I don't need to, run around picking up dimes in front of a steamroller. Great. So Sandeep, good question. You don't have to sell that 190. I'm just showing you how you can bring in a little coin to have somebody else pay for it. Look at that. S&P fading. I told you we'd go right to 5,400. I should have shot that sniper. If you don't know what I'm talking about, man, the sniper training is over here in Options Weapons School. You got to join, folks. If you kind of know what you're doing and you're new to TOPGUN Options, you see me on social media going, holy shit, we're printing money doing our SPX snipers. I did a brief last week, 2 weeks ago, and I just added it to Options Weapons School. SPX sniper shots, how I do them. This is worth joining immediately. Does anybody have any questions on that? That's priceless. All this other Options Weapons School stuff is needed, but I added that at the bottom a couple weeks ago because people were like, how do you do these snipers and stuff like that? I'm like, oh, all right, here we go. Okay. All right. Let me scroll up. So yeah, this is what it looks like, man. This is and look, see, I wasn't lying. People are joining already because our hunters counter is going up. Look at last week, man, we were printing money. Look at this. These guys, this was a great one. Look at that. Eli, 57% profit, man. Ooh. Wiz, I don't know how you pick your strikes, but keep it up. Amazing. Brent, 55% profit in 90 minutes. This was a max profit for me. This was Friday. I did this on Friday. This was a $2,500 profit. You picked the battle line on that trade, Wiz. Didn't max out, but happy with the profit. Thank you. Have a nice weekend. Doug, $2 trade, max profit. So, folks, we're having fun doing this, man. We are, it's the trade alert thread. You can see all my trades in here from the past couple weeks. And we are, look at this one. SPX day bear call said 1,600 bucks, 60% in 17 minutes. I love this stuff, man. Closing, another bear call spread, 65%, 1,650 in an hour. In these trades alone, folks, you almost have like a lifetime membership. All right, I went an hour and a half. That's way too long. Let me go back here. Martin, no. I'm sorry about that. Options Weapon School is included in the training. Great question, Martin. No, I'm not that cheap. No, when you buy the annual $29.95, you get Options Weapon School. Yes, it should say it all on the screen down here. Let me scroll down for you, brother. So the $29.95, you get the skill-based trade briefs, the options basic training. It's called Options Weapon School. You get your manuals, you get access to all sorts of stuff. So yes, the training is in there. I only talked about that last week. Like if you Wiz, I don't want to do any of this stuff. I just want to focus on training. You could do that for $297, but you don't get access to anything except those 8 sessions. That's why I kind of, you might be asking why I separated it last week. I was helping people out last week. I'm like, before I do live trading next week, maybe you want to buy the Options Weapon School. There you go, Vic. Good for you. Awesome, Martin. Welcome aboard. Donna, yes, the alerts come to your phone. I see right there, the top, it says Go Collab. 5 notifications. If I click on it, it goes to the app. But yeah, they come. That's my home screen right there. It says, so yeah, we have an app instantaneously. That's why you don't have to be in the trade briefs. I mean, obviously, I love you being in here, but if you're sitting Monday morning in death by meeting, you're going to get a bing. Oh, all right, Wiz, just so you get the trade when the people in the brief are getting the trades. And then it takes, after I close the webinar here in a couple minutes, it takes about 20 to 30 minutes for it to render and then me to post it on the member page. Like today, let me go show you, since technically we're in Solo Amazon, I'll post it on the Solo Amazon member page over here. This is where you join the briefs as a member, and then here's all the replays. So I can show you last week's, you just click on it. The replay of the briefs up at the top right there, the video, and then you just scroll down and, I post all the trades and everything like that. We didn't do anything last Monday because it was nuts. Let me go to the week before. There you go. Those are the trades I did in the brief, and there's the Amazon trades that I did. Okay. That's what the member section looks like. The replays up here, and then, but it takes, like I said, 20, 30 minutes to post the replays. Okay. Yeah, the replay page is right here. That's my Fox interview. It's a placeholder because on this page was the Full Throttle videos from like a month ago, and it would be dumb to have them up there to confuse people. So this replay will be up here soon. All right, let me scroll up a little bit more. Sniper training was great. Thank you, Jonathan. Sandeep, I already showed the trade. Oh, wow, there's a lot of questions. Folks, I need to get up to, yes, Donna, Solo Amazon is open to new. Thank you for asking that, Donna. If you want to join Solo Amazon, it is not part of Full Throttle technically. That's why I moved it out to Thursday. We're talking Full Throttle right now. But Donna and everybody else, Solo Amazon is a separate service. I call it our gateway drug. If you're wanting to dip your toe in the water, it's $97 a month. Or you get 2 months included if you do an annual. It's $970 a year. I'd strongly recommend you do both. 95% of our members are in Full Throttle and Solo Amazon. They do all of it. So, Andreas, you bet. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Okay, let me see if there's any other super pressing questions. Maybe tomorrow I'm going to do a better job of looking as these questions come in. This, however, since I went over, is why I don't like a lot of members, to be honest with you. I don't super need the money. Throw most of it over to the fence and the foundation anyway. But I can't stand a zoo. No offense to the hundreds of people in here. Our member services we have a nice, tight, close-knit squadron on this. When, if any, would there possibly be a margin call on this Amazon synthetic put? There really wouldn't be unless Amazon like literally goes to zero. Recently, Martin, good question. Our disaster puts turned green. That's happened twice in 35 years. The first time was with Apple 10 years ago. I had disaster puts at 90 and it went through 100. What did I do? I took profit from the disaster puts, rolled them down, and bought more Apple. We talked about, good question. We talked about this last week. Some people's disaster puts in Amazon were green. What they do, roll it down, took some profit, and bought more Amazon. It's only happened twice. It was never a margin call because you have that disaster put. You're fine. So, but man, I'm not going to sit here and read all the rest of the stuff. My apologies. I'll do better tomorrow, but you just saw the live example of why I don't like, we're only taking 25 people. It's not going to be the Battle of Britain in here. I get agita. Like when I go do these visiting, briefs, hey, can you come present to, our festival of traders? I'm like, yeah. And then there's like 500 people in there. I'm like, oh my God. Quality over quantity, folks. I'm a quality guy. I'm not a quantity guy. So if you have any questions, I'll give you my personal email. Don't take advantage of this, please. But Wiz, WHIZ, at TopGunOptions.com. We got an action-packed week ahead. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about hedging and dredging with the S&P 500. Wednesday, we're going to talk about some long-term bullish psychedelic stocks. Thursday, we'll talk solo Amazon. But again, solo Amazon is not part of what we're doing. I strongly recommend you join both Full Throttle and solo Amazon. If you're a tire kicker, maybe just do solo Amazon. But we'll talk about all that stuff on Thursday. Let me see if my mastermind group has any. Before I leave, I always look at I'm part of a mastermind group. I got hedge fund buddies, Pentagon. I got a lot of buddies, smart people. Nope. We're in a hover. Yeah. Obviously, we're in a hover. Look at that. The bear call spread you could have shot is probably at max profit right now based on where the S&P 500 trades. So I shot one formally, but I talked through. I gave you the strikes of the other one you should have shot, and that would be at max profit right now. So in this brief today, I paid for your Full Throttle annual membership. That's a single day. Now, let's pretend we can do this once a day. What was that? $2,000 times 252 trading days. Say $500,000, folks. That's just in sniper shots. And remember, if you don't like the tactical things that I just did, Amazon, we can do both. We can be bipolar. I can be doing some trading in this front month right here tactically. I got long-term bullish positions, folks. I got SIBO. We'll talk about SIBO. I got JP Morgan. I got Amazon. I got ships deployed. I have long-term bullish ships that are cruising. And I'm making money trading the front month and the volatility. We good? Welcome aboard. That was another buzz. We probably got 21. I think that's 4 new members, folks. So don't be trying to be 26. Okay. All right, guys, I got to go. I have an 11:30 operations meeting every Monday that I just ate into for our foundation. So I got to get going. But you can, Scott paid for half my Amazon synthetic stock position rolling his disaster puts last week. Scotty, that's how you do it. Very well done. Okay, guys, I got to go. My apologies. I'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. Don't forget to watch the replay if you came in late or had to bail. And it's a big week ahead. We got a lot more stuff to do, and this is all technically free. You're welcome. This is your trial. By Thursday, if you haven't joined or don't want to join, I failed miserably, and that rarely happens. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you're hedged, which I am. Fights on. Namaste. And Basi Basi. Wiz out. I'll see you guys tomorrow.